Imagine this, natutulog ka na with your partner. Tapos, bigla kang magigising kasi may lalaki, may suot na ski mask na nasa tabi mo na. Meron siyang flashlight and a knife. Tinali niya kayo pareho. Then habang nakatali ka, maririnig mo binubulungan niya yung partner mo. And it gets worse. This is the true story of a serial killer na ginulantang ang buong California for more than a decade. 13 over 50, 100 plus burglaries, and for 40 years, walang nakahuli sa kanya. He was the boogeyman and they called him the Golden State Killer. So, let's go back. 1974, Visalia, California. May isang creepy guy na tinawag ng media na Visalia Ransacker. He started small, bahay lang, nagnanakaw ng mga sentimental items, wedding rings, bras, minsan pagkain lang. Hindi naman siya nagnanakaw lang for money. Parang trip lang. Also, he wouldn't just steal. Ina-arrange niya yung gamit ng victims. He would leave behind weird stuff. Minsan, underwear ng lalaki nasa ibabaw ng dining table. So, around 2 a.m. on September 11, 1975, si Claude Snelling, a journalism professor at College of the Sequoias, heard a noise outside. Meron siya nakitang masked man attempting to kidnap his 16-year-old daughter, si Beth. And nakita niya na the man is dragging her away from the house. So, si Claude, tumakbo palabas, barefoot, to save his daughter. So without hesitation, the masked man shot Claude Snelling twice, killing him in front of his daughter. Then, the suspect ran away on foot and vanished into the night. And that was the first known murder. Noong 1975, muntik na siyang mahuli. Kasi isang gabi, may isang police officer sa Visalia ang nakakita sa kanya, si Detective Bill McGowan. Nagkaroon sila ng encounter. He was almost shot point blank, but the gun jammed. Nakataka siya guys, sayang. That was the closest they got in decades. Next, 1976, Sacramento area. Same MO, pero mas grabe na guys. He starts breaking into houses at night. Mga babae lang ang target niya nung una. Single, living alone. But then, he escalates. Couples, families. He would stalk them days before. Magbibigay siya ng creepy phone calls like random heavy breathing sa telepono or minsan sasabihin niya, "I'm going to kill you." So pag attack night na, he enters quietly, ties up the male partner, and then he woman. And what's worse, he would put plates or cups sa likod ng lalaki, tapos sasabihin niya na, "If I hear those move, I kill her. If you move, I kill you both." So he did this more than 50 times at lahat ng police departments, syukit talaga sila kasi walang nakakita, wala rin plate number, walang pattern, nothing. Like he was always one step ahead. Nakakatakot. And as if the trauma wasn't enough, ilang taon after the attack, may mga biktima na nakakatanggap ng tawag. Walang introduction. Just someone whispering. Tapos alam niyo kung ano yung sinasabi doon sa phone call. "Remember when we played?" Oh my God. Creepy guys. Yung boses parang pinipigil. Parang sinasadya niyang gawing mas creepy. Ngayon pati mga police ginilabutan. Akala nila tapos na. But then, sa Southern California, nag-start ulit yung killings. This time, with couples found dead in their beds, same MO, tied, gagged, and pero may extra rage. Yung iba, binasag yung muka, sinakal, and even bludgeoned with a lamp or firewood. Police gave this new killer a name, the original Night Stalker. What they didn't know yet, si Visalia Ransacker, East Area original Night Stalker were all the same guy, iisang demonyo. Sa dami ng beses niya nakatakas, napansin ngayon ng mga investigador na he was methodical, parang trained, lahat naka-timing, at wala siyang iniwang fingerprint. That's when a theory started forming. Pulis ba to? Sundalo? Kasi tama sila. Eventually, malalaman nilang ex-cop pala yung suspect. After 1986 guys, tumigil siya, like totally vanished. He went from unstoppable monster to ghost. And for decades, families had no justice. Even with rape kits, crime scene DNA, walang match sa database. Kasi wala siya sa sistema, he was a ghost. Now people started forgetting, but not everyone. Ngayon, pasok sa eksena ang true crime author na si Michelle McNamara. She named him the Golden State Killer in a 2013 article and started investigating. Super deep dive guys, may sarili siyang map, post-its, suspects list. She pushed for renewed interest. Sadly guys, si Michelle died before the case was solved. But her book na I'll Be Gone in the Dark became huge and her work helped turn cold leads into hot ones. Noong 2018, police tried something crazy. They took the crime scene DNA and uploaded it to a public genealogy site called GED Match. Para siyang Family Tree DNA or Ancestry.com. Walang direct match but may distant cousins. So, they hired a badass genetic genealogist named Dr. Barbara Ray Venter. So, she built a family tree using those distant relatives. She tracked down every male in that tree and narrowed it down to one man, Joseph James DeAngelo. Ex-cop, lived near the crimes, retired na, tahimik lang, may asawa, anak, grandkids. Normal na lolo vibes, ganun na atake. So, police tailed him, waited for him to throw away trash. So, nung nakakuha sila ng used tissue, boom, yun, DNA match, perfect match sa lahat ng crime scenes. Now, experts say he had signs of antisocial personality disorder, lack of empathy, manipulative, charming on the surface, pero predator sa loob. May pattern siya na parang textbook serial killer. Syempre, di ba, he started small, burglary, tapos then murder. Pero, yung scariest part, guys, he was a cop, a husband, a father. Nakatira lang sa tahimik na suburb. By day, he was mowing the lawn. By night, he was stalking strangers in their homes. Double life talaga. April 24, 2018, Joseph was arrested. Di na nila nulubayan. Sa trial, he acted weak and old. Naka-wheelchair pa. Pero guys, CCTV caught him in jail, standing, exercising, walking normally. In other words, arte lang. So in August 21, 2020, after 4 decades of terror, he finally faced judgment. The courtroom was full, survivors, families, journalists, pero si DeAngelo guys, nakaupo sa wheelchair, tahimik, parang lutang. No reaction, no remorse. Now, ito na yung part na akala natin sa pelikula lang nangyayari. Isa-isang humarap sa kanya yung mga biktima. Wala nang paligiligoy pa, wala nang takot. Lahat ng sakit, galit at trauma, binitawan nila sa mismong mukha ng halimaw na to. So here are statements made by survivors during the sentencing of Joseph DeAngelo, as recorded in court and verified by multiple reputable sources. So una si Chris Pedretti, attacked at 15 in 1976. Sabi niya, "Your secrets have been exposed. Your double life is over. The world, and I mean the entire world, knows who you are and what you did. You will forever be known as a repulsive coward who hid behind a mask of evil. The devil can keep you company in your prison cell as he gnaws away at whatever soul you have left." Grabe, nakakapanindig balahibo naman yung sinabi niya. Second is si Pete Schultz on behalf of his mother, Winnie Schultz. So ang sabi niya, "We are the family of Winnie Schultz and we have all survived because of her bravery. For 44 years, we've suffered, but your suffering has just begun. The boogeyman is done." Third is Patricia Murphy's daughter, reading her mother's statement. Ang sabi niya, "He punched me in the face and broke my nose. I never felt safe for many years. I was always looking over my shoulder expecting someone to jump out at me. He truly is an evil monster with no soul." Ngayon, si Joseph James DeAngelo was sentenced to 11 life sentences without parole back-to-back, plus 15 more life sentences with parole, plus 8 extra years for weapons charges. Pero nung binasahan siya ng sentence, ito yung sinabi niya guys. Listen to this, gigil ako dito. Sabi niya, "I've listened to all your statements, each one of them, and I'm truly sorry to everyone I have hurt." Yun lang. Isang sentence. Dry, emotionless, too late. Yung iba sa audience na pa, wow na lang. Wow. Parang, yun na yun. Pagkatapos ng lahat ng ginawa mo, yan lang sasabihin mo. The judge didn't even flinch. Judge Michael Bowman said, "The survivors have spoken clearly. The defendant deserves no mercy." Tapos tinanong niya si DeAngelo, "Are you capable of comprehending the pain and anguish you've caused?" He also said, "When a person commits monstrous acts, they need to be locked away so they can never harm an innocent person. But now guys, he's locked up, old, pathetic, and forgotten, exactly where monsters belong." Now, there are still unsolved cases na hindi officially linked sa kanya. Pero guys, grabe yung similarities. May mga reports ng stalking sa LA area, kapareho ng MO niya. Pre-recorded calls, flashlight in the eyes, threats like "I'll kill you if you scream." Meron pa ngang isang incident involved a woman who swore she saw someone in her backyard every night for a week, only to wake up one night with a man standing at the foot of her bed. Walang fingerprints, walang entry point, parang multo. Pero dahil walang DNA match, hindi siya naidugtong sa Golden State Killer. Until now, mystery pa rin. So ayun na nga guys, no, nakulong na si Joseph DeAngelo. Nabuko na yung double life niya. Isang lolo na tahimik lang sa labas, serial killer pala sa loob. Pero ano nangyari after? What did the world learn? Ano ang naiwan niyang bakas sa kasaysayan? Unang-una, this case exploded in pop culture. Nagkaroon ng podcast, documentaries at books. Most notably yung libro ni Michelle McNamara na asawa ni comedian Patton Oswalt. So yung book niya na I'll Be Gone in the Dark helped renew interest in the case. Grabe guys, she passed away before DeAngelo was arrested, diba sabi ko kanina. Pero her work partly helped lead to him being caught. Meron pa nga HBO documentary na based dun sa libro. Now, ang daming tao ang na-inspire like journalists, armchair detectives, survivor advocates. Tinatawag pa nga the case that defined true crime for a generation. Kasi 'di ba imagine nyo, after 40 years pa na-solve yung kaso, lolo na si Golden State Killer. Sobrang tagal ng panahon, ilang dekada bago na-solve yung kaso, 'di ba? Now, let's talk legal tea. Dahil sa arrest ni DeAngelo, nagulo ngayon yung buong justice system sa Amerika. Bakit? Kasi hindi lang siya basta nahuli. Nahuli siya gamit ang DNA ng kamag-anak niya sa isang public genealogy site, yung GED match nga. So that opened the floodgates. So ngayon, biglang nagtanong ang mga tao, pwede pala yun? Legal ba yun? May mga nagsasabing genius move yun for justice. Pero, syempre may iba ring natakot na baka daw ma-abuse. So since then, over 100 cold cases were solved using the same tech. Pero, ayun na nga, privacy versus justice ang naging national debate sa korte, sa news, even sa loob ng science community. Kasi paano kung may relative ka na gumawa ng krimen, pero ikaw yung nag-upload ng DNA mo sa internet without knowing na magiging susi pala yun. Diba? So ang big question ngayon is, how far are we willing to go for the truth? Now, DeAngelo shattered the monster stereotype. Kasi hindi siya yung wild, unhinged na halimaw. He was calm, calculated, a family man, ex-cop, may asawa, may anak, may apo. The question was, paano niya nagawa lahat to at nabuhay ng parang walang nangyari? Experts described him as a textbook organized offender with narcissistic and antisocial traits. Pero ironically, he was also cowardly. Madalas takutin yung mga victims with threats, pero bihirang lumaban sa may authority. Kaya nga sabi ng isa sa mga survivors, diba? You will forever be known as a repulsive coward who hid behind a mask of evil. This case taught us a lot about trauma, justice, technology, and truth. It gave a voice to the voiceless, especially sa survivors na for decades sa takot magsalita. And it proved na kahit gaano katagal na ang panahon, justice has no expiration date. Now, the trauma remains for many survivors. Yung iba, never nakakuha ng closure. Pero at least, the monster has a name now. And he is rotting in prison. So yeah, minsan the real monsters aren't under your bed. They're across the street, watering their lawn. Guys, alam nyo ba, this is one of the most chilling cases I've ever read. And kung gusto nyo ng other cases like this, drop it sa comments, or if may alam kayong creepy case, tag nyo ako. And follow for more kwento time, and remember, always double lock your doors. And of course, don't forget to follow, like, share, and save, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye-bye!